Hey Faves, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And also don't forget to hit that notification button. Okay, here's a clink clink to good recovery. And we are back like we never left. And I'm so happy to be back. It's been a week since my surgery and I'm recovering pretty well. I ran a poll on Instagram asking my faves whether they want a YouTube video or whether they want an article. Majority then said, we want a YouTube video. So here we are. So a week ago, I went into surgery. Can I call it call time? My call time was between 6 and 7. I woke up at 5 o'clock thinking I am okay in terms of going to surgery because, 5 o'clock, I'm not going to be doing my makeup. So it's all systems go. I should be done by 5:30, 5:45, if I'm pushing it. Did I not look at the time and it said 6:15? And I started panicking. I started panicking because I'm never late. I'm never late for anything. I always say if I'm late, it is probably not my fault. If I'm late, it's not my fault. Anyway, Piggy made sure we rushed to Kruger's Hospital, which also isn't too far from my house. So we got there in time, just before 7, and obviously I sighed some relief. At least I got to the hospital on time. Cool, all was well. I got to reception and I had to sign quite a number of forms, like indemnities. And when you sign an indemnity form, you start getting scared. But anyway, I signed all the forms and they wished me luck for the surgery. And off I went into lift 1, floor 3. And then I got lost on that floor. So I bumped into one of the employees there who then said, no, just sit down, they'll help you. But then nobody was helping me. So I literally walked into a theater and said, I have a surgery today. Where should I go? And the lady's eyes just lit up. Obviously, she's like, hey, confusion here. And then she led me to my ward, which is just across that floor. Got there and then they told me, you just have to wait for a nurse to come and assist you. So I got into the ward. I was the only one there. It was very quiet, but the floor was starting to get a little bit busy. You could tell that people are starting to walk into the hospital. So a bold lady, Ostike lady, walked through the doors and you could just tell she was getting excited because, a bold lady was meeting another bold lady. I just cut my hair the day before. She's very nice. Your Ostike lady is very nice, and she was very upset that day because one of her colleagues, I think, had called to say that they can't come in because they're not feeling well. And obviously she was very upset because that means they're short-staffed. So she was just not having it. But she didn't take out her frustrations on me at all. She was very nice to me and we had a great, great chat. And then she asked me which doctor I'm seeing. So I told her, no, I'm here to see this doctor. She's like, oh, that's the same doctor that performed my surgery. She said, what are you here for? And then I told her I'm here to remove a lump in my breast. And she said, that's what I did 3 years ago. So then she showed me her scar. And then she told me that she randomly gets these pains on her chest. And every time she feels them, she has to hold on to them and breathe for 10 seconds. And I was like, I don't think that's what I want to do. So I got a little bit nervous, but yeah, it was quite frightening. But anyway, we filled out so many forms. Your hospitals have forms. You will sign your life away in a hospital. Honestly. There were just so many forms, man. And then I asked her, because they said I needed to be there between 6 and 7. So I said to her, so when is my surgery? She says, doctors only come in at 8. So now, do you understand? My surgery is not starting at 8. Doctors are only coming in at 8. So I had to wait for a long time. And obviously, the longer you wait, the more anxious you become, right? So we sign the forms, we finish. And then another sister comes in and then they tell me to change into a gown. Some very funky gown that's open at the back. And some very funky underwear. That looks very dodgy. But I changed into it. And then I waited a little while again. And then security came and they take your valuables. So he took my phone at the time. I didn't have money in my wallet, but then he still said he wants the wallet. So I gave him my wallet, I gave him my phone, and then he asked me if I had any jewelry or whatever the case is. Like, security actually comes and they take your valuables while you're in surgery so that nothing can get lost. Cool, I gave him my phone, so obviously I'm losing track of time, of what time it is and when is my surgery and whatnot. So eventually they come and they wheel me out of the ward to go into the theater. Now my heart is going, I'm starting to get nervous now because I'm a very healthy individual. Like, out of all my siblings, I've never slept in hospital. I've never been admitted. I'm just that girl. I'll be sick, but then it's not like I have to go to hospital and be admitted for a day or 3 days or a week. So it was my first ever experience going to a hospital. So I got into the theater room. I started seeing a lot of nurses, a lot of doctors. I started seeing lights. I'm like, yay! Here come. You understand? So fun. They wheel me in and I meet some really interesting like sisters. They talk to me, ask me how I am. They call me by my surname. Some call me by my name. And then I tell them, no, you don't have to call me Nontlantla. You can call me Noni. Then I tell them about my home as a Potgieter story. I got named Noni when I was still in primary school. Like, I'm just giving them J. Talking. Then a nurse comes in and says, is this our patient? And then they say yes. And then off to more lights, off to more doctors, off to more nurses. And I even told them, I said, I'm here for a lump removal on my breast. Please, I don't want to wake up and I don't have a leg. And then they chuckled. Because apparently those things happen when you go for one thing and you come out and it's a completely different thing. And my mom doesn't help. My mom is a type of, like, my mom, she said that to me like just before I got to surgery. So you're just like, but mom, just before I got to the hospital for the surgery. And you're like, Mara mama, like, how would you say something like that? I mean, seriously, you know? So cool. I talk to the doctors. I see my doctor. We start chatting. They ask me how I'm feeling. And then when you're in theater, it is freezing cold, right? So I'm literally shaking in my bed because I'm literally wearing a gown that's like this material. Like, I was frozen. I'm the type of person that wears cardigans in summer. So now I'm walking into a theater and it is freezing. I even told the nurses, you guys are strong. You come with short sleeves here in this fridge. And then again, they chuckled. And then I start talking to everybody, and then now the injections start. It's the pulses, they're looking for the vein, and now the nerves are starting to kick in. I am seriously going to undergo a surgery. So I do a quick prayer. Inside, they find a vein. As they find the vein and that liquid starts entering the system, I started seeing dinner lady, stars. I could literally feel myself getting dizzy. And then some lady came from behind and put that thing, oxygen thing, and I was gone. I was literally gone. They performed the surgery. What actually felt like the shortest amount of time, but the best sleep I have ever had, like the best sleep I've ever had, happened in that theater. And as soon as they wheeled me out, I said, oh, I'm feeling good. I don't feel any much pain, you know? So I'm still clearly very dizzy. They take me to my ward and I say to them, look, I'm feeling absolutely fantastic. I can go home. So they look at me. They say, what would you like to drink, coffee or tea? So they bring me some coffee and then they give me a slice and a quarter of a cheese and ham sandwich. I eat it, I feel energetic, I'm feeling all great because I hadn't even eaten the night before because my mom told me I have to eat before 10. My mom is a doctor, even though she's a qualified teacher. So then I eat that slice and a quarter and I say to them, please tell security to bring my phone and my wallet, I'm ready to go home. And as I said, they looked at me, they're like, okay, we're going to go call security, and I was gone. I literally was out for a couple of hours. When I woke up though, I started feeling the pain in my breast. Ooh! It was painful. It was painful. It really, really was. But not unbearable. But it was just uncomfortable because it's just, you're just not used to feeling that kind of pain, right? So I don't know what happened to Ostike lady, but I started having some other nurses come through and it was just confusion after confusion. One didn't know what I was prescribed. The other one told me I need to come see the doctor in the week. I must set an appointment. And then at some point they said, oh, so you're still here? And I said, yeah. They said, okay, let's bring you lunch. So then they bring me lunch, which was mac and cheese and some baby marrow and carrots, boiled baby marrow and carrots. You could tell it's very healthy food, but it wasn't so bad. I think the food was edible. I ate it, so clearly it was edible. And then after a while, they came and they fetched my plate, and then people disappeared. So I'm thinking, okay, waiting game, waiting game. And then the security finally comes and he brings my stuff. More waiting games. So I'm like, okay, surely I'm supposed to be out of this hospital. So I literally got out of my bed and I left. Well, that's obviously after changing back into my clothes. And I left the hospital. And I went to go get my prescription, which was painkillers. And then I went home. And yeah, I got home and it was literally as if it was a party at my house because everybody was waiting for me at the gate. So guys, I'm fine. This is just a minor surgery, but I think they were a little bit panicked as well because we still weren't certain about, you know, what the breast lump removal was about. So a couple of days later, in that same week, I then call the doctor and I say, I'd like to make an appointment. I then get an appointment to see the doctor on Thursday in the morning. And then there's this thing with this doctor, Batung, they will say come at 11, you'll go in at 12. They'll say come in at 9:30, you'll go in at 10. It's a waiting game. It's a waiting game at that consultation. But, I mean, it's okay. He's an old man and he's sweet, so I really don't have a problem with that. So then the day eventually comes, I go see him in the week, and then he says to me, why are you here? It's a bit too early. So I'm like, but I was told to come in the week. That's why I'm here. He's like, no, it's a bit too early. I can't do anything. But then he then said, you'd have to make an appointment for the following week. So obviously I'm pissed because I'm like, I had to come to this hospital. Now you're telling me I must come again. I really, really, really don't want to do this. And then he says to me, how have you been treating your wound? Did they give you dressings? That is the hospital in this instance. And I said, no, they didn't give me dressings. And he's like, well, that's not how it's supposed to happen. They were supposed to give you dressings because chances are they've billed it to your medical aid. And then he said, you must go look for your account, your statement, and see if they've billed you. And if they have, tell them to reverse it because they didn't give you dressings, right? So I'm more pissed now because I'm like, oh, now I was told, Hore, I wasn't going to get anything. So I literally left with nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay? But the good news is that he already had my results, which were back, and it is confirmed that the lump was fibroadenoma, which is a non-cancerous lump that just needs to be removed. So that's what it was. And obviously, I was very relieved to find out that that was the case. And I guess me taking you on this journey is just for you to be able to recognize the importance of having to check yourselves regularly. Because with me, I felt the lump by mistake. I felt a little bit of irritation or discoloration on the breast, and that's how I saw it, but it wasn't a deliberate check. So this is just me saying, go read my article on my website, go watch my other YouTube video about finding a lump in my breast, just so that you can really understand, the frustration that you go through when you find out that you have a lump in your breast, because you're always thinking worst case scenario. So I thought, let me take you on the rest of the journey of how the surgery went. And good news is that, thank goodness, and cheers to that it was just fibroadenoma, and it's nothing to be worried about. But I still have to go see the doctor next week to go and remove the stitches. I must say, having to clean my wound has been an interesting process, because I'm very, as I said, I'm very scared of pain, and I'm scared of seeing blood and stitches, and having to clean my own wound has been quite an interesting experience. It burns it does burn, but I'm seeing that I am healing the more I clean it, and I know that I'm going to be 100% okay. So I am very revived, I'm very energetic, I'm very excited because I was very anxious the week or weeks leading up to the surgery, and now I came out of it and I don't have the lump anymore and it's non-cancerous, and it's just a way to say this is a wake-up call. Right, and I got it. I completely got the wake up call, and I'm just super excited to be able to then get back to normal. I obviously spent a couple of days, weeks trying to recover, and I haven't been able to release some content, but I'm so excited to be back. I'm so excited to release more content. I'm just more excited to be able to just do the things that I love and the things that really set my heart on fire. So this is just an update to say this surgery went very, very well, other than the mishaps of incompetence that happens because this is Saudi. But it is what it is. I'm just happy that everything went according to plan. So thank you so much to everybody that has been praying for me, that have been supporting me, sending me text messages of encouragement, and even people that have been saying, Noni, you actually gave me a wake-up call. So shout out to everybody for tuning into this video. Your girl is doing 100. I haven't been creating content, but I've been working. So it just goes to show that, get up. And I'm doing exceptionally well. So thank you so much for joining me on this video yet again. And just remember, hore ke le rata rati.